Okay. Hello. It is February the 12th, 2021. I'm actually going to turn around. Can you see outside? I am now in my rental space where I will be for February and March, and then moving into another place in Bracebridge. So I'm moving from big city to big town. It's so crazy. It's so exciting. It's like all the stuff. It is all the stuff. What I wanted to talk about today, I felt so moved and so passionate about reaching out to my creative mums, my entrepreneur mums, especially to the ones that are starting up a business, wanting to start up a business, or in the early stages. So when the pandemic hit, you didn't have everything fully formed yet. And I just want to say that the agility and flexibility and perseverance and drive and dedication and endurance that I have seen from moms that have anything else going on in their lives besides relationships and childcare and domestic duties is mind-boggling and awe-inspiring. And I just want to say that for every time that you have done even a freaking inch of work on your creative project, on your dream, on your job, like in between people home all the time, in between having no space. Maybe there's been no room with a door on it. Maybe technology has been an issue. Maybe you're just exhausted and overwhelmed. Every time you've done something, I want to celebrate you. You ready? Yeah! Woo! It's so freaking important to celebrate, because without celebration, it's no fun. Without celebration, we tend to look at all the stuff that we're not doing and ignore all the stuff that we have done. So here are my 8 juicy tips for the mom entrepreneur during the pandemic. And I'm going to go through them one by one. And really what I hope they do is I hope they make you feel not alone. I hope they remind you that you're freaking awesome. I hope they inspire you, and I hope they give you permission to be wherever you are. Okay. I didn't think a lot about the order that I put these in. So there's probably a more creative order that I could have done, which I don't have now. So we're just gonna do it as it is. And if you want to write them down, you could just write down the main title, and then you'll have something to think about. And you just might form your completely different, new, super awesome, finely attuned to yourself tools from there. Okay. Asking yourself the question, what task needs what environment? This is all about priorities. So here's the deal. This is a day, like you, I have not had a lot of time on my own. In fact, when I am alone in the house with nobody here, it's like a unicorn. I'm having a unicorn day. My husband is down in the city organizing the endless amount of stuff that has to be done when you're selling a house, and my kids are at school. I have to go and pick them up in an hour. This has been a unicorn day alone in the house. So I had to do a little bit of work on how am I going to spend this day? Have you ever had the experience where you have time to yourself, finally, and you have 13 things that you want to do, and they're all competing with each other? You want to be super productive and do some videos for your business and write that email and look at that course and buy that, I don't know what you want to buy something. You want to get the app, you want to move, and then you want to do nothing at all at the same time. Or maybe you just want to nap and have a hot bath and watch Grey's Anatomy, my story. And sometimes I can be paralyzed. I found myself paralyzed at the beginning of today because it was a unicorn day that is just so freaking rare right now. I did not know what to do. I wanted to do nothing and everything all at the same time. So I had to really use this tool that I have about prioritizing time. And it's about looking at the task that needs to be done and what environment it needs to be done in. Example, I can clean up the kitchen when the kids are home because they're doing something and I'm cleaning up the kitchen, and the kitchen can be cleaned in that environment perfectly fine. I cannot shoot a video when my kids are home. It's literally impossible. Even at my old house, we have so few doors that I cannot actually get quiet. So would I choose to do dishes today while my kids are at school? Or would I choose to shoot a video? I'm choosing. I'm not choosing. I am actually shooting a video and I'm going to do the dishes. If and when I feel like it, probably I'm just going to cram them all into the dishwasher because a task needs a certain environment. I also really wanted to have a nap today. I don't know if you can see, well, I'm sure you can see my eyes. I'm exhausted. We are exhausted. We have been, first of all of us are exhausted. So we'll just take that as a kind of the base layer is that we're exhausted. And in particular, we have had a lot of change recently, a lot of work to do, a lot of extra energy on our plates, a lot of emotional stuff going on. So I'm exhausted. I really wanted to take a nap today. So I had to think, okay, when can I take a nap? What are my opportunities? I also want to shoot some videos and I also want to do a few podcasts that I need quiet for. Can I have a nap when the kids are home? Abso-frickin-lutely. You know what I do? I put the TV on and they watch 3 episodes and I have an hour nap. So, taking the time to think about what task needs what environment has been very helpful for me in prioritizing when I get a space to do something. So that's number 1. Number 2, mini pleasure before work. So today, as you know, I was so torn between being productive and work and doing frickin' nothing at all. Okay, I wish we were all together because I would love to see the hands that are being raised. Can you not wait to do nothing at all? Is it not your greatest dream that I don't know when, we'll just do nothing at all? We'll just get together in a big group. You know what we'll do? Nothing at all. Go away on holiday, what are we gonna do? Nothing at all. I can't wait to do nothing at all. So I wanted to do nothing at all. I wanted to do pleasurable things. I wanted to do work. It was too much. So this is what I did. I had a mini pleasure before I got to my work. So for me today, that meant I ran a hot bath with lavender bubble bath. I love hot baths. They are my frickin' thing. They are probably my number 1 nourishment tool that I go to. When I'm stressed, angry, tired, overwhelmed, boom, 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 hot bath. And I put on some classical music and I had a short bath. So I allowed myself some pleasure because I didn't need to find pleasure in the day. I knew that at the end of the day, if I just worked the whole day and then gone to pick up the kids, I would have been a raging bitch and super pissed off. I knew I had to find my pleasure, so that's what I did. So where could you find these little bits of pleasure before you work? So say you have an hour or 2 hours. Is it 30 minutes of watching movie trailers, which is a pleasure that I have? Is it eating something beautiful at the table and reading a book with a cup of coffee? You set your timer for half an hour. You get your pleasure in. Doesn't have to be the whole day. Then you do some work. Number 3, compassion, compassion, compassion. I guess compassion versus comparison. I read an email recently from a woman. And the email was, how I made $35,000 in 1 month at home, 4 kids doing online learning, no big deal. And when I read that email, it did not inspire me. Whatever space I was in at the moment, it made me feel shame. Why haven't I made $35,000 during a month during the pandemic I only have 2 kids at home? As entrepreneurs, as creative women, there will always be people who look like they are nailing it. And they might be nailing it. They could be nailing it that day. They could just be nailing it and crushing it on a daily basis. So here's my advice. First of all, super compassionate. Stay rooted in your own story. Sometimes we don't want to crush it all the time. I don't know what that woman did to get $35,000. It's possible that that's not for me, because that's not how I want to run this thing. That is my life. I need to stay grounded in my own story, stay grounded in my own desires, and be very protective of myself. There's certain emails that I read where somebody's saying, I had this one mind shift and it transformed business for me. And I'm like, ooh, that sounds super inspiring. And I can feel it in my body. That's inspiring. I feel drawn towards it. You know, like, where's the link? Where's the talk? That's exciting. I wonder what she's talking about. And then there's times when we watch the video, read the email, and we feel, you know that feeling? It's like, that's the shame feeling for me. Oh, it just, it deflates me. So we don't do that. Compassion versus comparison is staying rooted in our own story, in our own pleasures, in our own desires, in our own certainty, and making sure that as soon as something feels deflating and not inspiring, we're out of there. Out of there. Compassion. That leads me to number 4, which is something that I have fallen off of recently. And I noticed that when I get into a space where I'm looking at all the things that I haven't done, like made $35,000 a month during the pandemic, it's because I'm not celebrating enough. And I have forgotten this habit, y'all, which I talk about so much because I love it and it's powerful. And you know what? I've fallen out of it. I've been busy. I've got all the excuses. I've been busy. I've been overwhelmed and I've been exhausted. And you know what? That's totally fine. Compassion, compassion, compassion. It's totally fine. Now I want to get back into it. Celebrate the end of every day. This is my practice. You find what works for you. The end of every day, I usually stick my head outside. I don't know. It's like I need to say to the bigger world. And I will say, thank you for the gift of this day. Like trees, sky, goddess, Bob, Matilda, I don't know. I celebrate that I drank my shake today. I celebrate that I worked out today. I celebrate that I went for a walk today. I celebrate that I sent the email today. I celebrate that I answered that question today. I celebrate. If you want to make it specific, I usually do everything. I celebrate what I did in relationships. I celebrate what I did in work. Excuse me, if you want to make it specific to work, that's what you celebrate. Every frickin' tiny thing. I celebrate that I watched that training video for 10 minutes. I celebrate that I set up one page on my website. I celebrate that I reached out to that one person. I celebrate that I did a Facebook post. I celebrate that I did an Instagram post. Celebrate. So that is so connected with this compassion. Celebration is like the antidote to comparison. Cool. Have you ever heard that expression? We're coming to number 5. Drop things off the list. Like no big deal. Like water off a duck's back. Have you ever heard that expression? I love it because I can imagine the duck. And if you've ever seen a duck, when she ducks her head underwater and she gets all wet, and then she just shakes and her feathers just, and the water's gone. And she's like, it's no big deal. I didn't even notice it. Drop things off the list. So today I've had to drop things off the list. I had about 10 things on my list. I have to close a library account. I was going to work out today. I'm just gonna drop them off. Like water off a duck's back. They are gone. And you know what? When I celebrate tonight, I'm gonna celebrate everything that I did do. I'm not gonna go into the stuff that I didn't do. Tomorrow's another day. We always get to start fresh. Drop things off. You don't have the time? Drop things off. Let them go. Think of me when you do. I'm giving you full permission to be a duck. Okay. Number 6, do it anyway. Sip. Do it anyway. It's really cold and uncomfortable in your room, and it's really ugly place to shoot a video. Do it anyway. your eyes are glazed over and red because you're exhausted and you're gonna look tired on the video, do it anyway. You don't have the idea fully fleshed out, so you don't want to talk about it yet, do it anyway. You don't yet know if it's something that you're going to do, so you don't yet know if you want to reach out to that person, do it anyway. You don't know how, you don't know yet, you're not sure, you're not ready, do it anyway. It feels so, action taking feels freaking good. Even messy action. There's something about just doing something that feels good. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Number 6. Be creative. You know what? I just changed that. Be your own creative assistant. So imagine that you have an assistant, okay? Wouldn't that be fun? Maybe 4 or 5. And your creative assistant is always working to maximize your time and your efficiency, and she's always looking for ways to make it easy and pleasurable for you, okay? So perfect example today. I had a list, don't know where it is. I had a list of, I think 5 or 6 videos that I wanted to do, plus 2 podcasts. Too much, obviously. So I have had to be making decisions all day. I can't do this, right? Water off a duck's back, not gonna do that. And my creative assistant looked at my list and she said, oh, you were gonna do these 2 topics in videos. Well, why don't you just do them in emails? Because you don't have time to shoot videos today. You gotta go pick up the kids soon and you wanna maybe chill out for 20 minutes before they come. So just write those in an email. Be your own creative assistant. Challenge anytime you feel yourself having this thought that it has to be this way, like I have to do this in a video because I've done it before, or I always do it in videos, or I always do it like this, or I usually do it like this. Put on your creative assistant hat. Be like, maybe we just don't do that this week. Is it possible just not to do it this week and get back to it next week? You know what? Let's just do those in emails this time instead of videos. People generally don't care as much as we do about how we put things out there. I would say people care about what we put out, maybe not how. Certainly not as much as we do. So be your own creative assistant. Find ways to be creative and suit your output, your work output, to what is possible and what is pleasurable. Number 8, follow the juice. Here's what I mean. Okay, so you have 3 hours to work when everybody is out of the house. And you want to do an Instagram post and you got to get on your Facebook group. Maybe you want to do posts for a week. And you also want to have a photo shoot, and you also want to look up that training course on Instagram, and you also want to look up a website, and et cetera, et cetera. And you're a little bit tired, and you're a little bit grumpy because actually all you want to do is frickin' sleep. Follow the juice. What out of those items calls to you and gives you the energy that you need to do it? I had stuff on my list today that I do not have the juice for today. So I would come on and it would just be a waste of my time and a waste of anybody's time who was watching it because it would not be juicy. You know what I had juice for today? Reaching out to my entrepreneur moms. That's what I had juice for, so that's what I chose to do. Follow the juice. Okay, Let me wrap it up and summarize. Number one, what task needs what environment? What task can be done in what environment? So this is all about, I have a short amount of time. What am I going to prioritize? This is a time, this is a space with no noise, or I have a door on the room that I can close. I have quiet, I have space. What can I do that can only be done within this environment? Okay, number one. Number two, mini pleasure before work. Pleasure before work. Do a little something. It will fill you up. It will give you fuel and energy for the work that you want to do, and it will anchor you into your juice so the work that you do is good. It's good work. Number three, compassion versus comparison. Compassion, compassion, compassion. Own your own story. Stay rooted in your own story and your desires. And notice when you are pulled towards something because it inspires you, or whether you feel shame or hopelessness or judgment, and then get the hell away from there. Be so protective of your sacred juice, okay? Your sacred passion. Be protective of it and be compassionate, which leads us to number four, celebrate every day. Today, I celebrate that today I thought the title of my private Facebook group, done. That's a celebration. Yeah, it took you 5 minutes. Celebrate that. Do you know what it's like to build up celebrations? It feels freaking deliciously good. And it completely changes your perspective of what you're doing every day. Celebrate every day. Number five, water off a duck's back. Couldn't do that today, didn't get to it. Shake it off, is no big deal. This is hard to do because we are trained, that productivity is queen. And if we're not being productive, we are failing. This actually goes hand in hand with celebration. Celebration allows you to illuminate all the things that you did do and disregard all the things that you didn't do. Like water off a duck's back. You didn't have a chance to do it, let it go. Shake it off. You can even just physically shake it off. Imagine you're a cute little duck. Number six, do it anyway. Really tired? Do it anyway. If you've got the juice for it, if it excites you, do it anyway. You have a crappy background? Do it anyway. Don't exactly know what you're doing yet or how to do it? Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Just do it. That's a genius phrase. I should trademark that. Do it anyway. Number seven, be your own creative assistant. Okay, so today I said I was going to send 7 emails, personalized emails to people. And because I want them to be involved, I want them to be mentors, or I want them to be collaborators or whatever. And I don't have time to do them. And now I'm all stressed out because all I can see is that I failed. And I'm not dedicated, and I'm not committed, and I'm never going to be a success. Be your own creative assistant. You know what we should do? Let's just do one a day for 7 days. Done. Or, you know what? I think we could do this email. We could write one email and send it to all of them. I don't think they all need to be personalized. And we'll save some time. And we'll make a really good email so it will still be personal and real and authentic and juicy. Done. Be your own creative assistant. Number 8, follow the juice. Follow what lights you up. Do what lights you up. Do what's calling to you. Follow the juice. And then I had this last one here. You know, I have had this continuing debate, especially over the last year, I would say. Yes, over the last year. About what being an entrepreneur requires, what success requires, what I'm willing to push through. Do I need to crush it every day? Do I have to push every day? Will I end up getting overwhelmed and exhausted and burnt out? how do I avoid that? How do I have a new paradigm of what it is to have a successful business that does not require me to be overwhelmed and singularly focused and burnt out? And yet, how do I hold that with the reality that doing anything in life requires work? And there are moments, like today, when instead of napping, I'm shooting a video. There is an element of push. So I've been thinking about how to frame that. And I just wrote down this phrase, and I'm working on it so you can see what you think about it. Push with pleasure and permission. Push with pleasure and permission. So what does that mean? Push with pleasure. Where am I finding the pleasure in this push? The pleasure comes from following my juice. The pleasure comes from the hot bath that I had beforehand. The pleasure comes from, I don't know, I'm wearing my fun earrings and my pink bra. Push with pleasure and permission. The permission is about permission for it to be messy, permission to do it wrong sometimes, permission also to feel burnt out sometimes, like to not know where that edge is, permission for it not to be perfect, permission for it to be all the stuff. Push with pleasure and permission. I feel like I want to find a better word for push. That's what I got so far. Anyway, I know you're trying your best, and I know you are accomplishing miracles within this very, very difficult time. So I give you a little titty shake. I high five you. I celebrate you. You're freaking amazing. You're doing a great job. Thank you for your time and attention. If you want to share anything with me about your entrepreneur, maybe you have some tips that you want to share. I'm open and accepting of every bit of juice I can get. You can email me, sophie@sophieluxon.com. Let me know how's it going. What have you been doing to build your business, to start your business during the pandemic? That's all I have for now.